Hi, everybody. So I just spent my first night in the tent. Um, I'm at a state forest about 45 or 40 minutes from me. And in terms of my experience at a state forest, it's been great. I been really quiet because it's a little off season, and nobody really came by and told me that I couldn't camp there. I did my research about state forests, and basically what I saw was that they didn't list camping as an activity because there are no facilities, but they didn't also not restrict it. So that basically said to me that you can, but just basically bear in mind that there's no facility. So I do have like a poop bucket, and I do have like my own things that makes the experience a little bit easier in terms of living life. um, I didn't realize, so I have a work obligation next week, Monday through Tuesday, which is a, an opportunity to promote my research at a resort. And I'll be meeting with the owner and the marketing manager on Tuesday. It's about 3 hours away, but um, I'm taking the opportunity to stay over at the resort. Um, so that's what I'll be doing Monday, Tuesday. Um, but I could have easily stayed here for a couple of days. Um, and I think I might do that next time. There's a lake not too far away from this location that I think I might try to camp at the next time. I'm willing to check it out today uh, to kind of see what it is and whatever. Um, Although I think it's interesting that uh, I tried to check out or scout out locations the night before, as you will see in a various clip. Um, but the I didn't really know too much about the state forest at the time, and it was hard for me to figure out like what would have been okay to camp at and what wasn't. Because there's a lot of like pastures in the area and farms and stuff like that, and it's not that easily marked in terms of um, like if I could uh, like stay over there or something. I'm sure like if I did an overnight, like nobody would have stopped me or anything like that. But as I approached this location, I saw a lot of signs of like no trespassing and private property, and I saw none of that in these pastures. So I potentially could have, and uh, yeah. So making dinner was easy. I had a packet soup, which was basically already cooked, and I just warmed it up. I used the solid fuel tablets and a folding stove, and you by this point you've already seen that. Um, but yeah, so a couple things that I would do differently is I would so I totally forgot to bring lighting, so a flashlight, a lantern. I did have like little hanging light bulbs, but the batteries that it came with were dead. So I did the only lighting I had was this flashlight on my keychain. So at least I had something, and I'm glad I had this because I last night I had to go back uh, to my car because it got pretty cold, um, and I got my wool blanket. Yeah, so lighting was something that I need to figure out what's best for me. The other thing I stupidly did was I forgot my camera, my DSL camera, so I couldn't really do a whole lot of filming. But maybe that was meant to be, you know, like maybe I was supposed to just kind of take a break from that, and I kind of saw with that. And I did. I mean, obviously, I'm doing filming right now with the my tablet, and I have a little vlogging camera that I did some vlogging or filming on, and yeah. So I mean, you'll see that in this video. But it was just kind of frustrating because like I was so motivated, and I finally got to go camping, and I finally got all my stuff together, and yeah, and then and I forgot the camera. The other frustrating thing was that my car battery died that morning, so that pushed my arrival a bit later to the afternoon, and so that was also frustrating because I think normally, because of setup time, I would try to get here as early as possible, and so that was the other thing that I've learned is that it took me about 3 hours to set up camp. Um, the tent, because I'm one person, it took me 2 hours to set up because I took breaks like in between each phase of setting up the tent, just so I don't overexert my body. And I think I did it anyway because my arms and everything were so sore by that day, the following or later that day. And that's when I also realized that I wasn't really prepared for my body. I had my toothpaste, my toothbrush, but I forgot my one of my medications. I forgot something that I typically take for my body because I'm also on my period right now. So I forgot pain medication, but thankfully my period hasn't been that bad. So it wasn't really an issue. And then the issue it could have become was that I woke up this morning and the general pain medication interacts with my thyroid medication, so it makes me feel like really crappy, like I have a severe reaction with it, and so I've taking herbal pain medication, which is willow bark. That's my alternative supplement, and that's worked pretty well for like menstrual cramps for me. And I typically get pretty bad pain when it comes to that. Um, so so that was a fail. And then I looked in my bag, and I thankfully did bring my toiletries kit, which is like a mini medicine cabinet, and I did have acetaminophen, which is this extra strength acetaminophen, um, fast pain relief and easy to swallow tablet. So I took one of these, and it immediately went away, and I was able to go to sleep better. And I woke up this morning and I still don't feel it. So I'm glad I had this because my sleep last night would have been terrible. So that's something that I need to definitely make sure I bring. The other thing I've learned is I have this folding bed that I initially bought for this tent. For kind of like a glamping situation, and it is way too heavy to bring on the trail. Um, it, and I've realized it's a little impractical for the trail because if the ground isn't flat, then the bed won't really be sturdy and you can like collapse on it. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to look into another sleeping situation for the tent on the trail. I am planning to order a self-inflating mattress for my anxiety kit because just so like I have something if I really need to like lay down and meditate or whatever on it. So I could use that. But yeah, for a night, I think it's okay. Um, and my car isn't that far away um, from this location, so really wasn't too bad. And packing up is always easier than setting up. So I think going home, like it won't matter as much, but it is definitely a challenge bringing it there, especially in like 85-degree heat. So yeah, it's not really the best um, sleeping situation. But let's see, the other thing I've learned, um, I didn't really bring any cooking measurement cups, but thankfully, like I didn't really need it. Because with the soup, I was already like measured out and stuff. I think this morning I might just go easy and like have a salmon and cheese sandwich or something like that. Yeah, uh, yeah. I can't figure out if there's anything else that I've learned on this trip. I heard a really strange noise last night that woke me up. I have to research it. It could have been coyotes. It kind of sounded like wailing. Not really sure how to describe the noise, but it definitely woke me up. Um, and it was so quiet last night, though. Otherwise, which was really nice. It was really, really nice to be by yourself, totally by yourself, and quiet in nature, and it was just amazing. um, yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else that I have to say. Uh, Maybe I should go through like the things that I'm glad I brought. I'm not really sure if that is uh, like any. Maybe I'll do that when I get home, just because it's a little hard in a tent like this to pull everything out and then put everything back. But for the most part, the stuff that I've bought, I've been happy with. Um, I realized I didn't have a chair, so I bought myself a chair from Walmart the other day. And that was nice, and I'm glad I brought that because I wouldn't have a place to sit down at my table to like make breakfast or dinner. So I'm glad I brought that. Um, yeah, I guess I'll just do that when I get home. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry if there wasn't much to it because, like I've said, I forgot my camera, and that's kind of frustrating because I have planned to do some really nice close-up shots of the environment. You know, you can still try to get that on the iPad or on the tablet, but yeah. So I guess that's it, and I'm going to make breakfast now, and um, yeah, and I'm not sure about departure today. I know I should probably be home to prepare for my trip tomorrow. So my initial plan was to stay for the day and then by sundown, like pack everything up because like they close the gate I think around sundown. So like by like maybe 4 or 5 p.m. Um, pack everything up and like get out of here. It shouldn't take as long to pack everything up, and I think I even might move my car a bit closer. um, But yeah, so if you like this video, hit like, and if you want to see more of my videos, hit subscribe. I just literally woke up, so hopefully this video is audible and you can hear what I'm saying. Um, and hopefully my next camping video will be a bit better than this one in terms of quality. Right. All right. Oh, I can research it. I can research it. I didn't say yes. So this is what breakfast is like so far. I've got some updates for you, so you see that in the next clip. So the Parker Trooper guy came by and just told me that state forests don't allow camping, which you saw in the previous clip, but I did my research and I could double check again, but on the website, it didn't say, like in the list of activities and everything, it didn't say camping, but in the restrictions, it also said no camping. So I'm not really sure how to interpret that. Obviously I took the risk and I got my night in, like nobody came by yesterday. So that's the weird thing, like the tent has been up less than 12 hours. And nobody came by yesterday on a Saturday to tell me that. And I'm sure park services were going in and out of the forest on a Saturday. So it's just so strange. I'll abide their wishes, obviously. It does cut down on the amount of time that obviously I'm going to spend here, but I kind of went into that thinking that that could happen, so like I'm not too disappointed. And I did get in my overnight, and I did get in a dinner. So like I don't know, that whole visit was a little strange to me because it's like the tent has been up less than 12 hours, and I'm glad that like I didn't try to go today because if I got here pretty early in the morning, about this time and set up, they could have come by and told me, you know, after I set everything up. So I guess that's a lesson learned. if if you're unsure of the location, maybe just go later in the day. I don't know. I'll have to double check that, but he could just be telling me things that may not be true too. But he was polite, and the interaction was polite. There's no like hostility or confrontation or anything like that. Um, but yeah, I have to double check that because uh, yeah, because the research that I did do, it wasn't exactly clear, and on the state website, it didn't exactly let us know. Like when you go to like the park website, it didn't say no. So, uh, and of course, like I wasn't gonna spend the time to try to get a hold of them on a Saturday, so I uh, decided to do no. So if you're watching this video, just know that I guess there is a risk that you could that this could happen, and know that state forests, I guess, don't always allow camping. And yeah, so I guess I'll try to. I don't know what time it is now, but I guess I will try to leave by the. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, if it's noon, I'll try to leave by noon, but I doubt I'll be able to pack up everything back quickly. But definitely by like 4. So yeah, kind of a bummer, but at least I got an experience in, and I know for the future and whatever. But I do think it's weird that nobody stalked me yesterday. I'm probably the like busiest day. Like I think somebody maybe either reported me or or something, which kind of sucks. Because there was one guy that came by like yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know there was camping here, allowed here," and he was pretty loud about it. I think somebody else was with him, and they were like, "They don't want to be bothered," which is true. So I don't know. It's a little sketchy. So maybe they're just the parksman was just doing his job. You know, like I don't know. I'm probably not gonna risk it in the future, but I'll definitely have to double check that because it just seems a little strange that, like, on their website, it didn't mention um, that you couldn't, like, under the restrictions. It said no. Like, it said nothing about camping. So, so I, and it's like if anyone else were to do it, if that wasn't as aware, self-aware, or whatever you want to call it, they wouldn't have thought to check that. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it's a rookie mistake, but anyway, I will definitely leave after breakfast, it seems like. And I'll have to double check that because that does definitely cut down on the amount of places I could go camping, especially in New England, without having to pay. And then the other thing was like, oh, he said like designated areas are open to the Memorial Day. I'm like, well, the point of coming here was so I didn't have to pay. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, I didn't want to have to pay this week for an overnight, really. So I guess what happened was that somebody probably reported me, and I'll probably just have to find a more discreet area, I guess, because this where I'm right now is like really on the State Park Trail. It's like shortly after the entrance, but my intuition told me to stay here because I had no location in mind on the same road, a bit further down. It was a little bit more exposed. It was surrounded by birch trees. Yeah, I just think the whole thing is a little weird. I think somebody must have reported me, which kind of sucks. I mean, yeah, two people walked by like when I just said that I saw it earlier, like just before the state trooper came by. Or it wasn't a state trooper, but it was a park serviceman. So I'm wondering if it was I don't know. Yeah. So that's kind of a bummer that my day is cut short. But I was gonna go buy that lake anyway, and whatever. So it wasn't like a whole big deal in terms of my schedule. And it just meant that I'd pack up after breakfast instead of maybe a little bit later in the day. But maybe it's for the best. So that's it. I'm all packed up. It's noon now, and that's about the time I arrived yesterday. So I actually might, because I did get caught, essentially, I think I might edit this video as a 24-hour challenge in a state forest. That will depend on how well the rest of this of the video that I have shot on my tablet and everything turns out. I'm not sure of the sound quality on this, but I'm all packed up. I'll be home by 1, and I did get told again a second time. So when I was finishing up breakfast, I get told by a worker, like a landscaper, that I wasn't allowed to camp. So that's really too bad. Maybe I could do like another 24-hour challenge and just assume that that's gonna happen, or I could just do a stealth camp in my car or something like that. But I am gonna check out the lake before I leave, and yeah. So as you can see, my car is all packed up, and I am looking forward to seeing my cat again. I did miss him. When I was sleeping and stuff, I become my sleeping buddy, my nap buddy. So I'll be happy to see him, and I'm sure he'll be happy to see me. So it's just kind of a bummer that I didn't go nearly as planned, but I did get a sleep in. I did get 2 meals in, so I think that's still pretty good, despite being told that I couldn't camp here on Sunday. I do think it's odd that on Saturday it was there for all evening and all afternoon, and nobody told me or stopped by except for that one guy who was like, I didn't know camping was allowed here. Like, very obnoxious, like. So, I'm very tired. I have to maybe rethink about my strategy a little bit, because doing all that not too far away from the car was pretty exhausting, I have to say. So, rethink my strategy. But I enjoyed my experience overall. I enjoyed being out here. It was very quiet, which is really nice. So, that's all I have to say, and I'll see you in the next video.